Okay, here we go. Now this is a video on the Semelas Alchemy material, but if you know how to apply it, if you know where it's going, then you may just be able to figure out what it's actually about versus what it seems to be about. So, um, it I'm talking about multiple things at once. If you can't read that into the conversation or to the presentation, then you won't be able to grasp what I'm talking about. So anyway, in the chapter 2 of Semelas's book, Red Lions and White Roses, I'm really proud of this, as I've told you before. In chapter 2, we talk about, Semelas talks about, the vertical symbol for niter. I think that's how you say it, niter. And he says that it's a circle with a line through the vertical axis. And that's all he gives us. Well, I did some research and I found that that word is actually a key phrase that opens up a doctrine, which is powerful, powerful stuff, which he goes about and talks about in the philosophic doctrine of the Rocroi d'Orient. So I have all this material. It's not about having it, it's about understanding what you have. Anyway, so before you get any initiations, before anybody does any special actions on you, you have to understand what's being done. Sorry, I got a little bit of sun here. So anyway, it's just a video. I'll give this one for free because it's not great content. Anyway, you have to understand what's being done. And so I traced back the niter to Syndivigus. Syndivigeos or whatever. I don't know how to say his name. But what he did is he gave us the key to the Paracelsian vocabulary. So going back, Syndivigus was one of the only exponents to the puffers, which are called the physical obsessed alchemists. The puffers are what he was kind of trying to refute with Paracelsianism. But Paracelsus talks about this amazing concept, which I'm going to tell you about. Now, for my members of the Patreon, I gave away free articles from the alchemical journal, academic alchemical journal, Ambix, which I'm in on all that conversation. So what I'm trying to do is bridge between the academics and the initiatics. You'll be able to see for the first time some of this language that jumps back and forth. If you can afford the Brill publication, if you can afford the journal subscription, and you have access to all the inner documents of these orders, you can do the same. It's fine. I'm not like trying to iron out an area just for me. But what I found has happened is much of this stuff, after paying capitation and being whatever person in whatever order, you're paying and you're paying and you're paying and you're following and you're sincere. And what happens is they drop you off the cliff. They don't give you anything. You don't get anything to contextualize this high grade stuff. You're just told, and the next degree, and the next degree. And then finally you get there, maybe, after decades, and they tell you, oh, well, what the real work was is traveling this path to get to nowhere. You just got to an arrogant entitlement, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I don't really want to hurt feelings, so just take it for what it's worth. Anyway, so in that degree of which is known as the Isia, which I've talked about for years, but I'm starting to finally release information to build up those who are in this group, because I was told by a Senecal, I think that's how you say it, of a Templar research order very, very well-respected Templar research order, that this stuff is not done. The ritual itself, the operations, it's not done at all. So you're not going to even understand it. And I've done some research to try to understand what I'm doing. And it's really challenging because you don't really get instructions. You have to be initiated into understanding what it is. So what I've done is I've done the work in trying to understand it for everyone. So we will be able to have access to this. Now, what I've derived, and I could be wrong, but, I got connections. Anyway, enough of that. Is that the Ec is basically the theurgical operation of the Knights of St. John and the Knights of the Evangelists of John. So it's two Johns. It's John of the Gospel, so it's highly, highly built on the prologue to John and what we call Johannite Gnosis, and the Book of Revelations, which is kind of I don't really know. It's getting into pretty much the Gnosticism of John the Evangelist. So that is where you get into some heavy, heavy stuff. And, I can't really reveal what all that stuff is. It's known, but if I were to just go and blah, 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 someone's going to refute it. So I can't really do that. What I can do is lead you up, though, to what we call the gate. In Lurianic Kabbalah, they have these gates, and there's 49 gates. And then Moses was said to have been the only one in history that obtained the 50th gate. So, I'm trying to help y'all understand what these gates are. And, we've had people that are way smarter than I am, way smarter than any of the authorities in the tradition, like Syndivigus. And then the scholars after that have done a great job at putting all of the bionic parts that we need for this tradition to function properly. So what they call this, I hope you're following along, is the Archaeus. Semelas calls it niter, but it's the Archaeus. And what it is it's the core of monadic principle that exists in all of things. Okay, well that's good. We're back to the one, and the many within the one. And I got smart people that tell me this stuff doesn't mean anything, and that you should just leave it alone. We understand it better than you, and I'm here to say no, you don't. You don't understand it better than it was presented to King David and the psalmists, and that's what I'm getting into. In the operations of Ec, what you do is you basically have theurgical psalmody, which was known to Abulafia, and which a friend of mine, Jonathan Swart, made a great book of the books of the Psalms. So that will give you a little bit more information on what kind of power that the Psalms have. I mean, it was known in antiquity, before we got Anne Boleyn's sacramentary, that if you just go and say the Psalms to person, that it could heal them of sicknesses. So it was very healing to say Psalms. And there's a reason behind it. And that's why this stuff is so valuable. Hopefully you picked up the book Red Lions and White Roses so you can follow along, because this is about chapter 2. And the reason why it's so valuable is Semelas tells us the vertical temple, well, he doesn't really say it, but it's what it says. The vertical temple is never, ever destroyed. In the order of the Elukoan, in the night of Zerubbabel, you get to a place where you're walking into this lion vision that was given to the Persian usurpers of masonry. And basically, as you cross through the bridge after going into, all this stuff, which is part of the Scottish Rite, and which Martinus kept within the the Order of the Yellow Cohen, they tell you that the seventh ark, and this is specific to the Yellow Cohen, the seventh ark was never destroyed. Passage all through this area to the Jerusalem was destroyed except for the seventh ark, and that is for those who know how to rebuild the bridge across. So your liberty of thought will give you the ability to pass over the bridge into the area that you need to pass into. I'm dropping so many keys. I mean, I'm not trying to be like a obstinate, crazy, anti-authoritarian, but if your ears are tuned to what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying to you right now. So I'm trying to give away some of this stuff because just in the knowing of it, it doesn't really do anything. I mean, y'all don't have the operations. You don't know how to really do the theurgy. And you don't understand what it is, even if you do have it. So I'm just giving the understanding for those who have it. They can revive their theurgy of the Ecclesia, which is horrible that I have to do that. But my leaders did not have these keys, so they can't go that far. I mean, we are having a very worldwide recognized event with the Red Lions and White Roses book. Make no mistake about it. So that's why I'm talking a blah, blah, blah and giving you lectures on the alchemy of Semelas, because there's hidden stuff in it. And I mean, I can't say everything, but what I can say is that what's hidden in chapter 2 is what was called the Archaeus of Paracelsus. And what the Archaeus is essentially Syndivigus expands it more and calls it the central axis fire, calls it the anima mundi, so all of these terms are interrelated. One of the big selling books from Kim Publishing, which I did a new logo. I'm going to show you the new logo. It's got a pin for the P, and then on the H, there's 2 pillars. So I am super proud of that logo for Kim Publishing. Anyway, so not to detract, but in the work of Syndivigus, he talks about the central axis fire. He talks about this being the sea. He talks about it being the ocean of being. And so what we also get from that is one of the main terms, the name that the Arabic mystics do not give away, but they say it's available in the staff of Moses. Well, my recently passed brother, Paul Edward Rana, gave access to this. Although people don't know what it is, it was in French. Well, I got AI to decipher the French that was on this page, and I now know what it means. This is the beauty of it. When you pray, you're utilizing the 100th name of the wand of Moses, the I am that I am. It's so hidden in the Bible in plain sight. Anyone could see it if they know what they're looking for. And hopefully after this video, you will know what you're looking at. Coffee. So you'll know what you're looking at. The Psalms are merely a representation of a mind in suffering, of striving and looking for God. And what happens is the mind has embedded in it a knowingness of God. And you'll know because it uses all of the terms. I mean, I'll go to the Psalms. I really like this book. It's by Robert Alter. It's a book on the Psalms. It's academic. So we'll just go to a random psalm. How about Psalm 91? And we will look at this psalm together. Psalm 91 says, I mean, of course it's not random, but you're welcome. It says, "He who dwells in the most high shelter, in the shadow of Shaddai, lies at night. I say of the Lord, my refuge and bastion, my God in whom I trust. For he will save you from the fowler's snare, from the disastrous plague. With his pinion he shelters you, and beneath his wings you take refuge. A shield and a buckler, his truth. You shall not fear from the terror of night, nor from the arrow that flies by day, from the plague that stalks in darkness, nor from the scourge that rages at noon. Though 1,000 fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand, you will not reach. But look with your eyes, and the wicked's requital you see. For you, the Lord is your refuge. The Most High you have made your abode. No harm will befall you, nor affliction draw near to your tent. For his messengers he charges for you, to guard you on all your ways. On their palms they lift you up, lest your foot be bruised by stone. On lion and viper you tread, you trample young lion and serpent. For me he desired, and I freed him. I raised him on high, for he has known my name. He calls me, and I answer him. I am with him in his straits. I deliver him and grant him honor. With length of days I shall sate him and show him my rescue. So, you should light your candle. After that psalm, I mean, do you hear anything different? And I'll know, I mean, put it in the comments. Talk about it. Talk about it with your friends. That is one of the psalms of the Ch2. It's beautiful. It's your protector monad psalm. It will give you help in times of trouble, you know. And there's a lot there. I mean, I read it on purpose, and I know what it means because I've been so fortunate to understand this stuff through our alternative suppressed tradition. It's there. He will save you from the fowler's snare. You know what that is? And I don't mean to be like, I know, but I know what this means, and I know what it was intended for, and I know how it operates, and I know where to put it in the ritual. And, if I were to teach it to people, they would freak out because they don't know this stuff. That's why I'm kind of goading your leaders to tell you what it is. I mean, I know the people. I was told by the head of the Ch2 to knock it off, not talk about it. We don't talk about it to anybody. It's only given to bishops. It's only told the people after they get made to a certain dip and dunk and dodge. If you could dodge a pipe wrench, you could dodge anything. So, they're told after that they have the ritual. They're just like given it, and that's what they're given. Now, I don't know if that helps. My brother Paul Edward Rana had the Ch2, which I was fortunate enough to be able to get my tuning fork going to see it. And it is profoundly good, but you can't just go into it thinking you know what it is. It has a special way of doing things. Semelas gives a theosophy behind it, but he still doesn't tell you exactly what it is. Now, I don't know, your leaders will know, I don't know where Ch2 came from. I don't know if that's important. I don't know what all of the teachings are. I only have the rituals. I don't know if that's there. But I do know that these were operations by Semelas. So I do know that if you have Semelas material, it adds up and builds up what this stuff is. And that's primarily what I'm doing, is I'm reawakening, just like we did the Elukoan egregore, we're reawakening the Rokwa. That's what's happening. So this is a Rokwa kind of presentation for you to take into your Rokwa order. I'm not trying to go in and be an authority and take over everyone's certificate and yeah, I already know everything that there is to know in those orders, except for the stuff that I didn't know and was not taught to me, and they do not give you. That's what I'm sharing these videos for. So thank you for working with my Patreon. If you subscribe, you'll probably get more content like this. I mean, I have to do my ventures too, since I put so much time into reading this stuff. I mean, I was looking through an Arabic manuscript and, using AI for help. If you know Arabic, come over to Kim Publishing and I'll pay you to translate Arabic manuscripts. Or if you know German, come over to Kim Publishing. I'll pay you to translate German documents. Because right now we're working on the Oder Archangel of Raphael, by Abraham von Frankenberg. And in it is what I'm trying to tell you right now. One of the main distinctions that he makes, and I'm not multilingual, so I don't know all of the special nuance. I can only read what's being said, and what's being said is even more profound than I think any linguist has arrogated themselves to be able to know about, which is that the idea of the German pietists, these operators that operated in the Boma, unknown superiors, unknown philosopher stuff, they knew that God was dual, that there had to be a separation from the eternal into God, and that God is just a common term that's said for this particular understanding that Semelas gives completely. So we know how to contact God already. We know what God is. We don't need to abstract about it. We don't need to theologize about it. We just need to start loving each other. And this is what Yeshua said. He was like, if you have something against your brother or sister, go repair that, then come back to God, and you'll be way better to understand the vertical when you correct the horizontal. Well, that's kind of what we're doing here. I believe the Roquois is to correct the horizontal. They don't know the vertical. I've heard it presented as mystagoguery and, all this stuff. And unfortunately, I've been given enough references to know that you're not telling the truth. Now, it's not to build myself up, because what do I know? You'll be able to learn way more with these keys than I could ever talk about. I'm just trying to open the gate for you to be able to go in and do your own research with your own mind. That's the beauty of the Psalms. Everything you need is within you. Everything that is being talked about in the Psalms will reawaken the amnesia that we've taken on in trying to abstract ourselves into an idea of God and trying to think about the God in terms of the absolute. We have relativized the absolute, not relativize God. We already know what God is. There's no need to abstract about it. Now, if you want to talk about your awareness, that's great. If you're reading through the Psalms and you get a good awareness, then you're probably on the right track. That which is above is like that which is below. So, in my 45th year, I gotta do something here. I gotta take that shot, and I'm not gonna miss it this time. And I'm helping y'all to not miss your shot. I've been studying this stuff for 20 years, so I'm in a good position to help you understand what it is. Now, if you want to throw dirt at me that I don't know French, you're right. I don't know French. I don't know Hebrew. I don't know Latin. I don't know German. I don't know any of this stuff. But I don't need to. It's simply a language, and there's rules of language that surpass ego, and they surpass your own ability to refute others of being able to go into that zone. It's like music. If you know how to play an instrument, you can play the instrument. You don't need to go and ask Jimi Hendrix for permission to play the song. Well, the same with language. Language is built in a way that you don't need to go ask people who arrogate themselves an ego aggrandizement about the language. You just need to know what it says. And then you have the mind to be able to read it and understand it. And so this is what we talk about in Martinism, that you have to go alone. You have to go alone with your own understanding, not your own concepts, but you have to go with your own understanding. You have to be in the zone of where you're resonating this information. And the Psalms will do that. So I'm very grateful to be able to present something like this. Hopefully that was intelligible enough. As I work through more of the Semelas material, you'll see more of these videos. But I'm really happy that we're able to actually start being reintegrated. Have a good day.